Cut it to 12. Everybody got the same spots. 3 more spots left in the mock draft. 3 more. Yeah, I feel like best ball right now is there's a lot, just like a lot of ambiguity. Like you have to kind of figure things out in the if everybody stays healthy and a lot of shit. And we haven't really seen training camp. Like training camp sometimes is an indicator like we were completely off on some players or not in on enough players. So
that's why I honestly like it this time of the year, just because it's ADP is definitely not figured out. I think there's good values for players that if you think, I like Travis Etienne a lot. I think he's a really good value right now. If he goes into training camp and it's like he's getting the first team touches, he's going to move up the board.
Yeah, Travis, he's not going to be RB 30 plus like he is right now.
So, I just think that there's some good values. That kind of stuff gets figured out as the, preseason progresses. But I understand 100% if you're worried about the injuries because that shit does suck like that.
It's not even the entry fee. It's more so just like it's like damn, like you want to have a strong lineup. I guess the more lineups you do, the more it doesn't really matter. It'll iron itself out. But like I don't know. I always like draft. When I draft like everyone's the league winner, every single one.
Yeah, I mean I do too. But it's also good to have
like everyone's third place, bro. That's what you do, bro.
You gotta if you have 80 best ball teams, like you gotta have variety.
Right. All right, let me get my pick in right here. Obviously, we know who this is going to be. Bijan, baby. Yet again. Bijan. So Jamar Chase, number 1, obviously I think that was auto pick, but you probably were going to go in there anyway. 30 seconds on the draft clock. Make sure you guys get your picks in. Tyler, who are you looking at here in the back end? Like I went Bijan. I've been taking him. Any chance I get in that 1 through 3 range, I've been taking Bijan. I think he has one of those years, and I think 1 through 3, you kind of got to bet on that. Who have you been like targeting specifically? Well, without giving it away too much, but who have you been targeting the back end of these drafts?
Back end, I'll say it at my pick. I don't want these guys taking my guys, but I do I think that's the 1 and 2 this year is Jamar Chase, Bijan.
Yeah, you don't think Saquon at all?
I think Saquon is fine. Sure. I think that there's a clear top 5. I think Saquon's in there.
Yeah.
The problem that I just have, and it's so nitpicky, it's not even a problem. I don't even want to say it's a problem. It's just like if Saquon doesn't run for 2,000 yards, which he can because he's already done it, but if it's like 1,800, 1,700, which is still insane,
nasty,
right?
Yeah.
But if he doesn't do that, then just the receptions might be enough to push a guy Bijan over because Bijan's going to be top 3 in receptions.
Because he doesn't get because he has 20 touchdown potential, but he's going to lose out on 10 to 15 of those just because.
Where's my guy at? What the hell?
Puka's already gone, bro. CMC in the first?
I think that people wise up. If CMC plays a full season, he's healthy. Where's he going to finish?
I mean, probably top 3 RB at minimum.
Easily.
You're right. It's just, do you believe? So that's the thing is you have to believe Kyle Shanahan, which you couldn't do last year because there was all this, he's good shit last year. Oh, he'll be fine. And the Niners were really kind of coy about how hurt he was during the offseason last year. And then they brought him back and he got hurt again. Is there a chance that he's just old? Is there a chance that he's just injury prone?
Maybe. Well, I think he's injured, 100% he's injury prone. But if you look at CMC in the years that he's been healthy, minus his rookie season, he's been a top 2 running back in fantasy football.
But he's only been healthy for 4 seasons. That's the part. That is the part you're betting on in the first
100%. But that's the risk you're that's the only reason why CMC is not going as the first overall pick in the draft. Now he's the 10th pick or in the second round. Sure, I could have gotten him in the second round. I could have went with Malik, but CMC is
the part that I'm at, Tyler, though, is with CMC is, the upside is there, but there's a lot more players that have that same upside this year. There's a lot of players that I think have 25-point upside. Barkley, Gibbs, Bijan, Achane. I think they have that same upside.
Fine. But he goes after all of them, which 100%. I would take all those guys over CMC. And then it gets to the point where Nico Collins, I love Nico Collins, but once again, there's no doubt in my mind that if McCaffrey's playing a full season, he's definitely outscoring Nico Collins
Yeah.
Like Malik Neighbors, I love Malik. Christian McCaffrey stays healthy the full season. He's definitely outscoring Malik. Like that's where I'm like in the back end of the draft, back end of the first. I'm coming around, and I've always been somebody who's been very hesitant to draft CMC. Late first round is well worth the risk with CMC because the other thing is, and we've talked about this before, I love the beginning of the second round. The fact that I can get Ashton Genty, who I think that Ashton Genty can be a borderline top 5 running back. Like I can have them now there as a security blanket on top of maybe having the RB1. Hell yeah, like sign me up. I'm all for that.
So I get where you're at. I get it. I get the upside with him, but I ain't there, bro. I ain't there.
Of all people, you're the one that isn't there.
I know.
You're always about the old heads.
The old heads, right?
And it's your boy. It's your boy CMC.
I'm definitely concerned about the injuries because he doesn't finish seasons. And, you learned that last year with like Saquon, even how he was towards the end of the year, Derrick Henry, how he was towards the end of the year, CMC himself, you drafted him, you were waiting on him, and then he came back and then he got hurt again. You learn sometimes with like the older backs, and it's specifically like in the top early rounds. Like I think that's why Joe Mixon and Kamara get pushed down. They got to be able to play through a whole season at that level. And I just worry with this Niner team without Brandon Ayuk for the first 4 to 6 weeks, with really everybody knows that the offense is going through McCaffrey. Can he handle 25 touches like he used to? I just don't see it, bro.
And if he doesn't, I mean, that's okay. But if he does, my God, he's going to be wide or RB1. He could be the number 1 player in fantasy football. And
I got him
okay with taking that.
I'm cool with like the younger backs ahead of him. Not the Bucky Irvings of the world, but like the Jonathan Taylors, the H-Hands. I don't know about Genty. I still got CMC over Genty, but like Kyron and CMC are like equivalent to me. CMC definitely going way too low. Think about how we treated H-Hand last year. Yeah, but H-Hand was also going first round last year, and he was RB 8 on the season. I don't remember where he finished. I think it was like RB8. Brock Bowers in the 3rd. Not bad. A little early, but a little early. But I think he's going low. I don't know that he's going low. I feel like first round is early for him. Would only be worried about the Niners sitting him at the end of the season, considering they have the easiest schedule. Does that factor in at all? Them sitting him?
I think the Niners will be competitive. Like I don't think that they're going to be bad. So I wouldn't be worried about that unless it's just like an awful season which it could be. But the offense is definitely not the same. But I think they'll be good enough to where they'll be competitive that they won't sit him. They'll have a chance to maybe make the last wild card spot.
Yeah, it's not even the sitting part, and I don't want to keep like harping on CMC because I feel like there's a lot of other really good things we could talk about player wise right now. But my last point on CMC is just like the upside that you're paying for isn't unique anymore. It used to be so unique, whereas I think there's a lot of players like to take that in the first round, and there's probably a 50% chance, I would say, or maybe even higher, that he's going to suffer some form of injury just based off of who he is. I have trouble taking CMC in the first round.
I think
and even the second. Yeah, maybe. Shit, that's fantasy for
you though. Because like just hold on, let me see this.
No, you're good. Yeah. If I feel like he's there, it's just
just 2 years ago, Christian McCaffrey averaged 24 fantasy points per game.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. What did he do last year?
But the one thing that I'll say about last year is he was already banged up heading into the season. We knew this, and we chose to just be like, we listened to the 49ers, which I did. Everybody did.
Not me.
You listened to a degree.
You're right.
Everybody at least listened to a degree where he'll be ready for the season. Even if he wasn't, we thought, okay, maybe the first couple of weeks and then he'll be good to go. We did not anticipate him having that injury, but like he's past that. He's healthy. Like if he gets banged up in training camp once again, yeah, I learned my lesson. I'm fucking out. But as long as he's healthy and like there's no injuries or anything, he's healthy for the start of the season. I already think he'll climb if he's healthy. Like he'll begin to climb. But right now, that like this is one of the benefits of drafting early, or it could be negative of drafting early. But if it's a benefit, like he doesn't get banged up and he's healthy, I could see his ADP creep into like mid-second round or mid-first roundish. if he's healthy throughout training camp, and everybody, starts to be like, well, shit, he just averaged 24 fantasy points, put up nearly 400 points 2 years ago. Like, we know that's the upside with CMC. So, but we'll see. Obviously there's always a risk. He's one of the riskiest players, but he's also has easily the highest upside.
Yeah, he has. I wouldn't say the highest upside. I would say he does have high upside if the Niners offense can look. Yeah, if it could look like it does, man. Who do you think's been a value so far? Obviously, my guys mixing Kamara in the fourth is crazy to me. And even the quarterbacks going in the fourth. I know for you that's probably a value, right?
Well, Josh, I mean, you're elite guys. Yeah, like Josh Allen, Lamar, those are just two guys that can score, 25 fantasy points per game, put up 50 in a week, easily win your week. So, like, are you saying in just this draft or just like in general?
In this one specifically, dude.
Brock Bowers. I understand people don't like to take tight ends early, but like you have to consider Brock Bowers last year outscored CeeDee Lamb, or maybe had one less point than CeeDee Lamb last year. And CeeDee Lamb was wide receiver 8. So Brock Bowers in his rookie season at the tight end position with arguably the worst quarterback room in all of football was wide receiver 8 in fantasy football.
Okay.
Do we think that he can and he broke the target record amongst all players in NFL history, rookie players in NFL history with over 100 targets.
That's fine. But this is also going to be a whole different. You bring in a first round running back. You think that the offense is still going to go through Brock Bowers? No, it's going to go through Gentry. Right?
He's the best player.
He's going number one. He's going first round. Ashton Gentry, right? So the offense is going through him, if I'm not mistaken. So for me, that's a change. Number 2, they're probably going to run 2 tight end sets because they have another former first round tight end that have in Michael Mayer.
You're worried about Michael Mayer?
Hey, Chip Kelly does run a lot of 12 personnel. So
and this is the wide receiver one.
That's fine, but he has to actually play receiver with Chip Kelly's
does not need to be hard. You're making it hard.
I'm making it easy.
Brock Bowers is the new Travis Kelce.
Geno never had a top tight end. Pete Carroll only had Jimmy Graham as a top tight end. Chip Kelly's never had a top tight end.
One of the greatest tight end prospects the greatest tight end prospect we've ever seen. And it's not even like the one thing that I'll say about Brock Bowers, it's not even like it's not like hype anymore. He came in his first year and did it. Like he's already done it. So now the situation around him is upgraded. I think Geno Smith is a good quarterback. At worst, Geno Smith is like Kirk Cousins level, where he can produce players. We've already seen him do it. So now he has his number 1 target in Brock Bowers. I understand he's a tight end. I don't like taking tight ends early. But when it's Travis Kelce, like anytime he used to be in the second round, Travis Kelce was a good value in the second round. And that's what I feel about Brock Bowers this year, is that if he's in the second round, like he's a good value because this is a wide receiver playing the tight end position.
It is, but you got to think like at the end of the day, this offense looks different. So under Pierce it looked like that, and maybe he has more than the 5 touchdowns he did last year. Like let's call it. But I don't really see a chance where he's a 1,200-yard receiver this year. I don't see that.
Easily.
I don't see it at all. You have to 100 catch 1,200 yards when you got Jacoby Myers on the team. You go and you invest in Jack Bech, who everybody likes, and it's like, and then they're going to be running the ball, playing ball control a lot more. I just don't see a world where like this is a team that throws for 3,500, 4,000 yards. Even
if he's not 1,200 yards. All right, let's say he's not 1,200 yards. He does what he did last year. That's where he should be going. Once again, he was wide receiver 8.
He was 1,200 yards last year, right? Wasn't 1,200 yards?
He was below 1,200. And he had 5 touchdowns. So if his touchdowns go up because he has a better quarterback, then like it's going to be even better.
Yeah, he was just under 1,200. Yes, I think he's closer to 1,000 and probably around the 5 again. That's where I got him. I got him like closer to 1,005, which is good. It's just not second round level.
Fantasy football doesn't have to be hard. You're making it too hard for yourself.
No, see, the thing is, fantasy football, winning in fantasy football is hard.
Man,
winning is hard.
A sleeper's a lot different than like your regular.
Than the underdog, or even like
I don't want to go. I have 3 rookies right now.
See, I can tell you've been doing a lot of underdog because of that lineup.
Yeah, but like
this is full PPR, so it's different.
Don't you think Tet in like the 6th round is fine with all those other wide receivers going around? Like I was going him or Chris Olave.
To be honest, I think Olave is a steal right now. I think
I agree. I
this
like Chris
Saints
Olave
offense is getting faded way too tough right now. Like they're not going to be 1,000-yard offense. The fuck? What are we doing? I don't see a world where Olave is not like close to 1,000.
No, I like Chris Olave a lot, and I was that's who I would have went over Tet. Like I was deciding between those two guys. But like I think that Tet right here for this point, like Tet could be the best rookie wide receiver in fantasy. Like I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah.
As my wide receiver 3.
I think it's a little heavy, but I'm not mad at that. Oh my god, I picked the wrong person, bro.
You took your guy.
No, I did not want to take. These dudes watch me way too much, bro. Cup, he knew it too. Cooper Kupp down there is a crazy ass value right now.
You got your guy though.
Damn it! I did not get my guy. I did not get my guy. I'm fumbling this draft right now. You know, Godwin though, I do like Godwin. I just got to see him healthy. You got to see Chris Godwin healthy. I don't think because
100%.
If he's 70% of what he was last year, it's a steal.
That's why there's 3 players that I'm nervous about this year that I would like if obviously they were coming off the injury, but that's also baked into the ADP, and he's one of them. I am worried about Stephon Diggs coming off the ACL.
Yep. Fair.
And the other one, honestly, I know you don't like him, but I like him, and that's Christian Kirk. I like him in that offense. Yeah. But both of them are coming off of significant injuries, and Chris Godwin is going to be 30, or is he already 30?
Chris Godwin's 20. Yeah, I think he's coming up on 30 this year.
He's had multiple significant lower body injuries. Diggs was a significant one, ACL. So it's just like, I want to like these guys, and I like the situations that they're in, but also the injuries are. The other one, Ayuk. Ayuk's another one.
Ayuk. That's a hard one because he's going to be on the shelf more than likely for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you got to eat probably another 2 to 3 weeks at least. So
it's like
that's a tough one.
It's like last year Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah.
RB1 but his was season. Even worse. My God, he goes and tears his ACL. Like, that's so bad.
That was bad. Yeah, I came back and then tear it again, man. So
it's just unfortunate. I feel bad for the poor guy.
I feel like I flubbed this back end of this draft talking right now and not focusing on this damn draft, trying to take different players. I should not have taken David Montgomery there. And I like David Montgomery, but I should have taken him there.
I think he's all right. Who would you have gone with?
I would have went with the receiver. I would have went with the receiver, and then I probably would have went with like ETN over Pollard.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went with Pollard because he's just safe. You know what I'm saying? I like Tajay Spears a lot too, which is crazy.
Yeah. I like Tajay for where he's.
Tajay had that nice, he had that game last year at the end of the year.
He finished the season well.
He was like top, I want to say in week 17, he was like a top 3 back that week.
Yeah, he had a couple good games at the end of the season.
And it's one of those things where like the coaching staff has talked up his role too. So I'm like, Tajay Spears, when you're talking about like second year, third year guys that could go, he's in that group to me. Like he's in that group. Benson's in that
running
group.
Running backs go a lot earlier here, obviously. Yeah. So it's going to have to be an adjustment here for.
In sleeper, you got to get like 2. You got to get 3 to 4 backs in the top 8 rounds because then it's ugly. Well, you said you like some of these backs, Bayshal, Tootin. You switched up already?
No, I do, but it's just like this early. Shit, where's the guy that I was going to take?
Javonte's cool. Javonte's cool.
Who do you think is going to be the back there? Did we talk about this?
I think we did because I think you took a blue 1 draft, and I was like, I'm not excited about him. But I think it's Javonte, and I think Javonte is just a limited type of like RB2, doesn't have a whole lot of upside, and it's just a matter of when. It's a matter of when this thing is like turned over.
He's like Rico Dowdle last year. Rico Dowdle, when he actually finally got the starting gig, he was actually pretty good for fantasy. So if he could be Rico Dowdle. I'm
not mad at that.
And that's the thing is I don't mind taking any of those Dallas backs because if it's like last year we talked about the Chase Brown and Zach Moss. And I was on Team Chase Brown, but I also said I don't mind taking either one because if one of them gets the job and is the guy we saw, they can be a league winning back because how good that offense is. And I feel the same way about Dallas. Like Dallas, I know people will be a little bit skeptical because the offensive line and whatever. It's still like you still have CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. Like those two guys can make an offense, elevate an offense, all the talent around them. Whoever the lead back is there will have fantasy relevance and will be a good guy, unless it's just a messy committee, which it could definitely be in.
There's them. I think Pittsburgh's like that too with Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren. I think Jalen Warren's probably going. We're probably hating on Jalen Warren a little too much right now.
No, I agree.
I think Najee goes a little bit later than he should because of all the hate on him. And I know you like Hampton. I know Hampton could be the starter or whatever, but like he still goes a little bit lower for a guy that's 1,000-yard type back. And then I also think when we talk about like RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins, this hasn't been adjusted for J.K. Dobbins potentially doing the same thing and being the factor. You know?
No, you're right about that one. That's for sure. And I don't think anybody is. It's also tough. Like sleeper will, I'm sure, adjust their ADP and everything, but
this shit's ugly.
But like that, and that's just how I feel about like the Giants running back room. I like Tyrone Tracy, but it's another one that these guys go later. The Jacksonville backs go later.
Mm-hmm.
So there's value to be had if you're just wait on running backs. If you can hit on the right ones, like if you hit on Travis Etienne and he ends up being the lead back, I mean, my God, you could have a potential league winner there for a guy who's going, not in this, well, in 7th round. I mean, still, like Travis Etienne has showed us he can be an RB.
Etienne's like that. I think I always go to these. It feels like one year I'm heavily against the player, and then the very next year I'm like, actually, I like this player. Like I've kind of softened my stance because I really thought Caleb Johnson would come in and probably take like a nice role, but I'm surprised to even see you pass on him. You took Javonte over Jalen Warren. Like I think Jalen Warren will at least have some pass catching work, probably have the starting gig at least to start. I like Caleb Johnson to touch the ball probably about 225, 250 times. But I think Jalen Warren, especially in PPR leagues, is like one of the nicer floor players you could have as like your RB4. Like
no, I don't mind Jalen Warren. It's just, I guess compared to Javonte, like if Javonte gets the lead role, I don't think Jalen Warren will have the lead role.
I think whatchamacallit
takes a split.
Role. He takes a Najee role.
Yeah.
Like pretty
Caleb
much
Johnson.
just evenly. Yeah, Caleb Johnson.
So, but I will say, Aaron Rodgers, maybe just makes this offense better as a whole. They're able to actually score touchdowns, which has been the biggest problem for Pittsburgh for years now, is they can get into the red zone, but they can never fucking score. So maybe with Aaron Rodgers, they can actually score some touchdowns, which will breathe life into like a guy like Jalen Warren. But the only reason why I went Javonte just because of like Javonte feels like the Zach Moss, Chase Brown of last year, where if he ends up being the lead guy, I mean, man, that he can be extremely valuable.
And it's a quick clock too. Like if we were on a 60-second clock, maybe we have a better chance to look at the board and see what's there. But like, I think there's still some. I'm not giving like the 7th, 8th round enough credit because I took David Montgomery thinking, oh shit, there's not a whole lot of backs. I just don't like the backs that go on sleeper in these rounds.
On sleeper, yeah.
Like
it's tough.
It's tough, bro. So I'm just trying to figure. Like I feel like the different platforms, especially we just finished drafting on Underdog and then to come here. It's like, oh shit, where is that guy at? So
yeah, no, 100%.
You want one more after this? Or you good?
But don't matter.
Let's do one more after this. We'll do one. You guys let us know in the comments. Run the comments up. If y'all want another draft, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we could either talk players. If y'all want another draft, run up the comments real quick. I can't believe I got banned on TikTok though, bro.
Did you check it? You're still banned?
Let me see. I'm gonna check right now. Let me see. Yeah, I'm still banned. I have people that made fake accounts of me that still are up, but my account's not up. My real account's not up.
Yeah, that's always annoying with that. Let's see. All right,
go ahead, make your pick, man. Let's see Tyler's last pick. It's gonna be a wild card. You got to get a quarterback, right? Oh shit, I didn't grab a quarterback or tight end. Is this the last round, or we got one more?
This is the last one that says.
Last round, I did not grab a tight end. Whoops.
That's all right. I mean, usually normal drafts are 15 rounds, so have plenty of time for a tight end.
I'm going to take, let's see. Yeah, but how do you feel about this question right here? How do you guys feel about Neighbors and Bucky this year? Have to decide which one to keep. I think you have to keep Neighbors. We know he's going to be a staple of the offense, and especially if you're deciding between one or the other in a PPR league or half-point PPR league, it's got to be Neighbors. Bucky, say even Bucky does perform and he's your keeper next year, like you have that risk every year of him getting replaced, like just straight up. So.
And like Neighbors last year, I know everybody loves to talk about Brian Robbins or Brian Thomas, but like Neighbors was better than Brian Thomas. Like Neighbors had a borderline historic rookie season. It's just he missed 2 games,
Yeah.
but he averaged 18 fantasy points per game, which that's how much Justin Jefferson averaged last year. Like Malik Neighbors was stupid in fantasy football, and now upgraded the quarterback room. Like he could be, I don't think he will, but there's a realm of possibility where he could be the wide receiver. Like he has the talent to be the wide receiver 1. I don't think he'll get there just because of the quarterback situation. I don't think
Yeah, I
it's
was
good
going to
enough
ask you
around
that.
him, but he has the talent. Bucky, I don't think has the talent to be the RB1 overall in fantasy.
A lot of people love Bucky for some reason.
I like
man.
Bucky, but I definitely think like when I do my rankings, he's definitely behind like Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, like those kind of guys. I'd much prefer those guys over Bucky.
I've seen him
And
go like
it's
RB6 before. It's crazy.
he used to be. Well, let me check this while you get here. I'm gonna look this up. You
Yeah,
can
I'm
go
getting
ahead.
this. I'm getting the other one up right now. Yeah, that's crazy. I've seen him go like super high.
Yeah, Fantasy Pros had. Let me see if it's still running backs. They had Bucky at 10. They used to. I swear they had him a little bit higher. He was at like 8, but he's still ahead of like Kyron Williams, Chase Brown. Like I would easily take both those guys over him. So for me, like Bucky at best is RB12 this year.
Yeah, I don't, and I think I have him outside my top 15.
Well, you probably like even Breece Hall over him.
Breece over him, Joe Mixon over him, Alvin Kamara over him.
Yeah, so you got him even lower.
Yeah. All right, this one's 10 team. I'm gonna go with the 10 spot here. All right, then I'll send this to the chat right now. We're doing a 10 team for this one, guys. Links one in the chat right now. Rate the teams real quick. I'm working on limited time today. Let's run one more draft.